It's pie! Chicken pie, chicken pie, chicken pie pie. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Vinland Saga. We are now on season 1, episode 14, which is called The Light of Dawn. So last episode, we saw Askeladd and the troop continuing on their march. Actually, no, they had to deal with the confrontation with the other Welsh country that was basically, well, scaring them, we discovered. Not really trying to attack, but scaring them. And it turns out that they want some guarantees that they're not going to end up getting into the crossfire of this war. And they thought that potentially Prince Canute as a hostage would be a good way to make that happen. But we've ended up finding out a lot of information about Askeladd and why he can speak Welsh, and the fact that he is in fact both Welsh and Dane. So this is kind of Askeladd's play, and he's basically using a bit of this mixed blood situation, as he calls it, to play both sides of the fence. The Danes are not aware of the fact that he's Welsh, but I'm sure it's going to come out somehow. So basically, he cut a deal basically saying that he has got the prince in his back pocket, and he has plans to make him make the prince trust him enough to give him whatever he wants. And one of the things he will give these countries is the assurance that they will never be invaded by the Brits or by the Danes when they take over. And also on the other side of things, Canute spoke up for the first time because Thorfinn decided to tease him, and it was rather funny, but I think necessary. So I'm very interested to see where we're going to go now, because there is a worry that the weather is changing and they're going to get trapped in the mountains, but Askeladd seems to have a plan up his sleeve. So let's see what that is. All right, so with that out of the way, let's jump into the episode. But just before I do, a reminder that if you'd like to know when I drop these episodes, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And with that, let's jump into the episode right now. Oh, I thought that sounded like squelching. Define pure. Okay. Who is this? Anne. You're still praying, bro? And not for more wine? That was raw meat that just went in there, bro. Took a big old spoonful of salmonella. You guys just jinxed your relationship. Thank you. Bro is too drunk to know anything right now, man. We don't know each other like that. It's hilarious he really wants to understand, though. Of course. Mr. Cowardly. I hope that rots your brain and guts till you die. Oh, so this is what intrigues you? Damn, how are they weird? He found it. Whatever he's looking for, I guess. Yeah, I guess that makes him feel better. I don't know, I'm not sure if he's a Dane who turned into a priest or he just learned how to speak the Danish language. But if he's a Dane, then hearing that a true warrior doesn't need a sword is going to make him feel better about the fact that he's not doing what all of his countrymen expect him to do. He's like, shut it! What is it? Ooh, he said your luck ran out. I feel like at this point you should just try to keep going. What's behind you? I was about to say you guys need to find some kind of shelter or you're going to freeze to death. That's true. He's a Christian now. He doesn't feel good about it. Or he was told he shouldn't. Oh, is this the girl that was praying? They're gonna raid her village. It's pie! Chicken pie, chicken pie, chicken pie pie. I think your daughter's faith's a little shaky. Just saying. Uh-oh. Not blasphemy at the table.
急じゃないぞ。大昔から決められ
It's
てた。
gonna be cold by the time Grandpa gets it into his mouth.
おお、あいつら超ある。きっと
Really,
神様
all of them,
は
huh? What about the converts? Them too?
うん。
She's gonna want to go with the Danes. She's gonna want to go with the Danes.
今からでもお金払ったら神様は許してくれるかしら。
Oh, she bought it. Okay.
悪魔が誘惑したんだわ。
What? Why? I'm curious. Is this a Danish thing, or is it just because you weren't supposed to have jewelry?
お金もないのに市場見物なんかするんじゃ
Oh,
な
you
かった。
spent money you weren't supposed to have. You're not gonna do it. Just put the ring back in the tree, girl. Oh, is she gonna see? Uh-oh. Oh my gosh, is her whole family gonna...
チーズ。晩ご飯拝見。
But thou hast utterly rejected us, thou art very wroth against us.
あんたたちは突然。大麦のミルク粥と干し肉が少々。玉ねぎ入ってる。
Really? We're picky right now? Get your own!
なんなのあなた。食べ物を粗末。
Ma'am, I wouldn't.
おい、おっさん。おい、ほら。
Damn. He can't serve you if he's blind.
こんだけか。
Is that all? This is a tiny settlement, and it's...
デンジンか。わしらの言葉の通じる者はおらんか。
Something tells me he's not going to.
半分残してくれないか。半分あれば、なんとか冬は越せる。
I think that's more than fair. You guys are moving through.
あんた方のことは考えてあるよ。冬越しの心配はしなくていい。
He's gonna kill all of you, that's why.
来年も再来年ももう冬越しの心配は
Askeladd
いい
is evil. See, every time I sit there and think maybe Askeladd's not so bad, he reminds me he's actually Satan. I do hope that Thorfinn kills him.
一人でも脱走されたら敵地の真ん中でもたついてることをチクられる。そいつはいただけね。どうだ
So the babies? Okay. This is why Askeladd can rot. There's Thorfinn. Yeah, Thorfinn's kind of getting into the territory of irredeemable for me. I mean, I'm aware that his father did just as much. And early in the episode, she was saying she was the only one that wasn't going to make it to heaven. And she's the only one who survived. Northern Lights. Can you see those in England? I guess you can. Maybe. I don't know. I gotta look it up now. I didn't think they were far enough north for that, but I could be wrong.
父ちゃんや母ちゃんじいちゃん弟や妹はそちらに着きましたか。
You
ド
wanna
キド
live?
キしてるんだもの。あんなにも悪い人たちがいるなんて。
Ah, right. Her whole identity crisis. Didn't I tell you she's gonna want to go with the Danes?
指輪を盗んだあの瞬間みた
Oh,
い
you
に
stole it. That's why.
ドキドキしてるの。
Oh, okay, so you're crazy. This makes more sense now. Yep, you're gonna fit right in with the Danes. Please, please don't fall for her, Thorfinn, I beg. Look, I'm not saying it's not wrong for her to challenge some of the belief systems she might have been raised with, but to be happy about the fact that everyone died, to steal and feel good about it, and I understand that with stealing there is a rush, but nah, sis is broken. And this isn't exactly the kind of society where a girl can get the mental help she needs, you know? But I have a sneaking suspicion she might end up with their crew and she'll fit right in. They're going to love the fact that she's insane. Anyway, that was a darker episode. Despite the fact that it's called The Light of Dawn, it was a very dark episode. It's been a minute since we've seen Askeladd's men do exactly what it is that they do. And they're at the point where they're caught in this storm. They can't keep marching. They needed a place to stay warm and to stay fed so they can continue on. And Askeladd and his men think that there's only one way to make that happen. That he's got to murder everybody and take their food and their homes. And this is why I said, like last episode, I was like, there's layers to Askeladd. Maybe I should And then, yeah, I remember now why I don't like him and why I'm perfectly fine with him dying at any point in this series. I can't be okay with this. Like, this is why I've never liked Viking lore in that way. Like, I understand characters. As a character, Askeladd is still interesting. Don't get me wrong. But certain things will just never sit right with me. And hurting children, particularly, is just beyond evil. And I understand that, you know, in their logic, they're like, if we take the parents out, we can't leave the kids because the kids will die anyway. But we didn't need to do it. Like, if they had done that, if they actually, I mean, I know there was a risk, like Askeladd said, there absolutely was a risk that if they let them live, that they would go and tell. But the reality is that even if Askeladd had did that, took them all, shoved them all into one house, took 75% of their food even, and then had them all tied up, you know, on the day they were going to leave, and basically say, okay, we're leaving you tied up. We're going to leave it up to you to try to figure your way out of it, to give them enough time to get on the road. Askeladd and his people would be long gone before anyone from that village would have been able to send word or do anything. You could even taken all their animals to make sure that they would have to walk, which in that weather, there's no way they were going to make a long distance trip. My point is, he could have done something where he doesn't have to take out a village that was minding their damn business, right? Like, and it's not just them. This is any of them. Like, this is why this Viking, but just this whole history of just going through and just raiding and pillaging for just no reason at all is just, and I get it. Some people are gonna say, but that's how they would have survived. How else are they gonna survive? How is that the villagers' problem? It doesn't justify what they did. So anyway, it's the darker part of this lore that I don't like. But either way, it was just a reminder for all of us that Askeladd is without conscience. Well, no, I'll say that because I mean, yes, of course, there's people he cares about, but he is without conscience when it comes down to it. And this is why I said I really don't care if and when he finally dies. In fact, I hope it's pretty painful. But anyways, because even with Thor's, you know, I did say in the episode that, yeah, you know, Thor's, he was just as bad in his heyday, but at least Thor's came to a point where he started to recognize what he was doing was wrong. He probably always knew, to be fair, but when it really started to, like, his conscience eventually woke up and said, I shouldn't keep doing this. This is wrong. I don't want to kill anymore. Why am I killing these people? It doesn't mean that he was absolved. That's why, you know, the fact that he died sucks, but I'm like, you know, karma. But yeah, right now Askeladd is in the thick of it and he doesn't seem to have any conscience whatsoever. He's saying, well, I hate the Danes, but it's like, you're living the life though, aren't you? But I understand also that he's in a position that if he told his people, hey, we're going to skip this village, he would start to lose their confidence because this is what they do, unfortunately. This is why I said for Thorfinn, you know, he's here talking about, well, I'm here as an enemy, but you're still here, Thorfinn. You're still here. And even if you didn't actively, which from what we've seen, he doesn't typically participate in, you know, the direct, well, I mean, he will take lives during a pillage, but he doesn't necessarily do all the things. But I mean, this is where you start splitting hairs of, oh, what's morally worse than the other, you know what I mean? So my point is that I'm starting to be like, Thorfinn, who are you going to be when this is all said and done? This is all said and done. Do you really have any right to take Askeladd's life anymore? Really? Truly? It's starting to get to that place where maybe it isn't. Maybe you're in the same boat, if not worse. So anyway, kind of a sad episode, but that character there of the girl, Anne, I don't think we learned her name for no reason. I also don't think we spent a good chunk of the episode for no reason. I mean, if we don't see her again, we don't. But I have a sneaking suspicion that between the priest having that conversation about what love means and what he's looking for and hearing about Thor's story, and then her talking about, well, that was last episode, but in this episode, Anne talking about how she felt like she was going to be going to hell because there's things that she's been told she shouldn't like that she likes. Like, I mean, I said she's broken, and I just mean that in the sense of she could be in shock also, to be fair. She just watched everyone she ever knew and loved get murdered. But I think that this comes from, to a degree, that she's been told her whole life that these are the ways she's supposed to feel, and this is how she's supposed to think, but she clearly does not feel that way. She does feel differently. I don't think necessarily the stealing of the ring, I want to hold, this is me, look at me justifying Anne, I don't even know her, but it's possible that the taking of the ring was more about the fact that she wanted something that was probably something she was told was something she shouldn't want, right? Covetousness is something that's very heavily frowned upon in Christianity. She probably coveted that ring and she stole it because she wanted it so bad. And the fact that she had the ring and she thought it was pretty and she owned this thing that she's not supposed to have, that's more of what she was getting the rush from, not necessarily the act of stealing, I don't think. And then her, again, obviously I do think she's sad about her family, but again, you know, her family kept saying they're all going to go to heaven. But anyway, the fact that she saw that there are people that in her mind were worse than she was and or brazenly did things even though God said they were wrong, that makes her feel like she's less of a monster, because she felt like such an outsider in her own home because of her feelings, which again, I feel like unfortunately, her family did not do a good job of explaining what belief is supposed to mean. And I mean, don't get me wrong, back in those days, the church used to have a very unhealthy hold on a lot, and they used to very much warp and twist belief systems and teachings to their own benefit. But anyway, we'll have to see what happens with her, because she's not dead. And I wouldn't be surprised if, once Askeladd and his people start heading out again, they see her, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, definitely a dark episode considering the contradictory title that they have of A Light Dawn. This is a very, very dark episode, but I guess it's just a reminder to us of who it is that we're dealing with when it comes to this show. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love, and I'll see you in the next one.